this live, no problem whatsoever. No problem.
Right. Yeah, we can totally
ESPN,
No.
be out of business.
They can barely
ESPN
do
FC
it.
wouldn't be a thing.
Did you see like their top strikers in the world, by the way? Because like, ooh, that's getting people heated. Not even gonna
ESPN FC?
lie. ESPN.
They didn't even
FC.
put Alon in the top midfielders.
No.
They had Perisic at like number 4 wingers.
Top midfielders for right now or of all time?
No, right now, this year.
Okay.
They
Just
had
making sure.
Koulibaly. What did they have Koulibaly at? Number 9
I think so.
or 8?
Something like that. Yeah.
They had PK higher than him. That's a joke.
Yeah, you're telling me. But
Let me tell you
Oof.
something. I'm going to state this, and I'm pretty sure everyone here can agree with me. There's no center back on this planet better than Koulibaly.
oh, right.
Right now?
Right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude's on fire.
Not,
And you know what? I've been a critic of Ramos. I've been a critic of Ramos over the years. I always said that he was a very overrated center back, but this year, this Champions League year, phenomenal. He had a good season this year, and everyone
Koulibaly,
jumped.
or
I'm talking about Ramos.
okay.
So if you put Ramos as number 1, all right, because I believe this year that he made a difference when they played against Juventus in the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, yeah.
First game, Ramos was there, lights out. Okay, he picked up
Yeah.
a yellow, and he couldn't play in the second leg. What a disaster! Absolute disaster. And you can say whatever you want about Ramos. You can say the year before and the rest of his career before that, he was overrated. I always said it. I always believed that. But this year, and it's not just from that game, this year was his best year ever.
Right now, 2018.
I want to say 2017, 2018.
2018. So
right
the
now,
year- the
right.
seed, yeah.
Let's just say from
Because Real Madrid's
August
a train wreck.
from August to now, no.
Okay.
He's not playing his
Fair.
best. But his 2017, 2018 season for Real Madrid, I'm not talking about World Cup Spain, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's him and Koulibaly, in my opinion.
I can.
And
I
then
could get behind
Chiellini at third.
that. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. Oh, I did find their top strikers. It's Harry Kane in first, Aguero second, and Cavani in third.
I think Aguero's better than Harry Kane.
The list the list goes on and on.
And you know what? The majority of Harry Kane's goals in the World Cup were absolute bonkers. It's just foolish.
Oh yeah, he scored a hat trick against what scrub
Panama
team? Panama.
But it was a joke.
Two of them were penalties, I think.
Two of them were penalties. I believe two of them were
Yeah,
penalties.
I think so.
And one was an accidental, freakish heel flick.
Yeah.
No one can ever explain that. It's beyond the worst FIFA goal you ever seen in your entire life. And every single person that's played the game has encountered freakish goals. That one's inexplicable.
Yeah, I don't understand ESPN FC.
I think Aguero's better than him. I'd take Aguero on my team.
I would take Aguero.
I wouldn't
over
take
my
him
team.
now because obviously he's older. And if I wanted to build a team, I'd probably take Harry Kane, which he is a very good striker, but he's not the best in the
I would
world.
take Cavani over Kane.
Like,
I think Cavani can do more.
Like if you had to build your team to win the Champions League this year,
I would
just what you have 1 year to win it all.
I would still take Cavani.
Yeah, I'd probably take Cavani
I would take
too.
Cavani.
Harry Kane is good. He's very good, but I don't know.
So
I feel like in the big games,
if you had to pick a striker this year, I could reason with you and say I'd take Cavani. But if you had to pick a striker moving forward, if you had to build your club around,
Harry
Kane. Harry Kane, yeah,
Absolutely.
but I would do that if I were had a project that I was building upon. I'm thinking 3 years down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but
Not like if I needed to win the Champions League this year. No.
Speaking of the best players, though, the Ballon d'Or results came out recently. Extremely controversial.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of people aren't happy.
A lot of people weren't happy. I know I wasn't happy.
I'm not necessarily happy either.
I'm not happy at all.
But I did call it. I feel like I am
that's right. Well,
vindicated.
you kind of called it, right? Because
Sort of.
so you had You had Modric winning the FIFA Player of the Year award.
Yeah, but you know, I don't mean to interrupt, but Joe, and this is this big conspiracy theory, okay, that people are saying like, oh, this Modric was chosen because it was to end the streak. Joe, you know, he mentioned before, you know, I kind of want to see someone different besides Ronaldo and Messi, you know, break the streak, see someone different, you know.
It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
It did happen.
Unfortunately.
Whether people like it or not, that's how. I mean, that's how they voted. It's not.
Yeah, but
I don't have all the votes in front of me. Like I don't have the numbers, but that's
they
overwhelmingly for Modric.
voted for Modric. I was looking at which country voted for who, and overwhelmingly it was Modric, and I don't understand why.
No, I wasn't. I mean, obviously he had an unreal World Cup performance. I don't think anyone on the face of this planet can say otherwise. There are people who would certainly say that he had a good year with Real Madrid last year. They did win the Champions League. I don't think his performance with Real Madrid last year was anything that special. I think he's had better years in the past.
Yeah.
With that being said, I understand his role in general has never been to put up a ton of points. A lot of times the role that he plays can be very defensive and passive. But still, I don't think that he had an amazing year at Real Madrid. So putting that all together and considering the performances put up by Ronaldo and Messi, I don't see it. I don't like it. I don't think that he should have won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I get what both of you are saying. I really do. But I understand 100%. The thing is that I feel like this year more than any other year was the year for the quote unquote hipster vote. So they really did want a change from Messi or Ronaldo. And I feel like this might have been the year more than any other year aside from 2010 when Wesley Sneijder got totally robbed.
Yep.
That there was a significant shout for someone different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I really hate these individual awards. I really do, because it's like you're nitpicking at greatness. All the players that were in this list had some sort of great quality to them, but we're trying to vote to see, you know, who's like the best of the best, who had the best year. And
I get it.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Not this year. I don't know about this year. I know it's difficult to pick between greatness, because the last 10 years, that's all we've seen is greatness between two well-deserved finalists.
Absolutely.
And Messi, you know me, I've mentioned this before on previous episodes, and you guys know me for a very long time. I'm not a Messi fan, but I respect his greatness. And for him to just not even be in the top three.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. He's
the
fifth.
top three. He's got it all. The stats. He's got trophies.
Yeah.
The only thing you can say against him is just the World Cup, which isn't even entirely his fault.
No, that was the Argentina team was a train wreck to begin with.
But it was a train wreck. That Argentinian team was a train wreck, and he still put up a goal and 2 assists in the World Cup, which is, you know what, in 4 games, it's
not Messi
that
numbers.
Bad. It's not Messi numbers, but it's not bad.
Still 5th place. And let's reiterate again.
That's pathetic.
Let's reiterate again that this was a voted trophy. Like, people sat and voted for who they wanted to win.
It didn't make sense to me.
So him being 5th, that's bonkers.
In front of Mbappe and
Mbappe in front of him and Antoine Griezmann in 3rd. Ronaldo getting 2nd.
Yeah, you could make a very, very strong argument at the fact that Messi had a much better year than Ronaldo did.
Statistically wise, you can say that.
Incredible year.
And
so that alone should have technically put him in front of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, you know?
Well, statistically wise, you can say that, but there's one, and I've mentioned this previously on on one of the episodes that the only thing that has me putting Ronaldo over Messi this year is his performance in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Incredible.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Incredible performance.
The Real Madrid wouldn't have gotten it without him there.
Now, if Ronaldo didn't win the Champions League, he wouldn't have had a trophy this year.
No.
Is he worthy of top 3? Yeah. But
Because of the numbers he put up.
because of the numbers he put up, great numbers. They're not as good as Messi's, but he's got that main trophy. And
Mhm.
who was the best player on the winning team? Who's the reason? I'm not going to say he's solely the reason why, but he's the main reason why.
Yeah.
You take Ronaldo out of
Agreed.
Real Madrid, they do not win the Champions League.
Right.
You take Modric out of Real Madrid,
Yeah,
do they win a Champions League? Probably.
Yeah,
most likely.
But
we've definitely had this conversation.
The odds
before.
of them winning without Modric and with Ronaldo is greater, are far greater than with Modric and without Ronaldo.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it now. The huge gap, the void that Ronaldo's presence or absence, I should say, at Real Madrid now. They're lost. They're lost without him.
The
now.
crucial goals against Juventus in the first leg,
Yeah, I mean that was
so crucial.
a fantastic performance. But
You take Ronaldo out of the picture in the quarterfinals.
Juventus probably go through.
Totally see that.
But then here's the other thing that makes these sort of awards really difficult is that there are also those statistics that you can't quantify, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rafael Varane having a legitimate shout for the Ballon d'Or just because he was still on that Champions League winning side.
Had a good season.
Had a good season.
And he won the World Cup.
And he won the World Cup.
He was lights out in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That we can definitely say.
He had a great year. He came in 7th. So
Fine.
But you can't quantify his performances in the same way that you can quantify goals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You could give clean sheets, but that's more reserved for I feel like that's more reserved for goalkeepers and their stats.
But the level of greatness that Ronaldo and Messi provide and contribute to their teams, it's just I get it. It's the tackles, the tactical awareness of Varane throughout this entire year. It was so crucial for France. It was crucial for Real Madrid. It's great. We saw Chiellini celebrating a crucial slide tackle that prevented a goal, and you see it. It's like, it's like he looks
That's
like
a goal
a
for
striker
him.
that
Right.
scored, but that's a goal for a defender.
Right.
It's hard to put that against players like Ronaldo and Messi because that's all they do. That's all they do. We're not in the era of Paolo Maldini and Fabio Cannavaro or Franco Baresi and Scirea.
Yeah.
We're not in that era anymore, where goals aren't pouring in like these. No one was
scoring 50 goals a
like
year
this.
like that. Yeah, I get that. So I feel like that this, like I said, this year was the hipster year for that candidate to be different, to be the Modric, to be the Wesley Sneijder, to give them that award, because people were just tired, and they're like, oh, they saw Modric, at the World Cup, and they're like, they saw his heart, they saw the way that he played, and he was playing great, and they're like, oh yeah, he still won the Champions League, so why not give him that award? That I'm not saying I agree with it. I can understand it, and I'll say it again. These awards are popularity contests. At the end of the day, I will always take a team award over an individual award like this, and I feel like players would too. I don't know exactly when an individual award like this became toxic is the wrong word, but I'm going to say toxic. I feel like more and more players are just gunning for this award when they should be focusing on just winning with their teams. That's me. That's just me.
I think one of the things that bothers me is the fact that you guys have mentioned the fact that Wesley Sneijder did not win back in 2010.
Absolutely
What a
robbed.
ripoff.
Absolutely robbed. And so he didn't win in 2010. And I would argue, I'm assuming most of you would agree with me, that he was much, much more deserving to win the Ballon d'Or than Modric was this year. Like,
Absolutely.
Modric won the
I
Ballon
can
d'Or.
100%
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
100% agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Wesley Sneijder was the best player on Inter Milan. He was the most important figure on that team. He wasn't the one pouring in the goals, but without him,
That team doesn't make it to the UCL final.
yeah, Inter does not go through. He was the heart and soul of that team that year. That was the best year of his career, and
Yeah.
that's one of the best years we've ever seen a center midfielder have.
Right. That was Inter's best year, period, I feel like, in their history, ever.
That was as good as any year Xavi and Iniesta ever had.
Yeah.
Better than Pirlo. Not saying that all time that he's better than those
Yeah.
players, because I don't think he is. But
yeah,
that
I
season
understand.
alone was just incredible. He won the Serie A, the Scudetto. He won the Coppa d'Italia. He won the Champions League. Him and Robin were the two main players to take their team to the World Cup final, only to lose in extra time in a game that they should have won.
Yep. To a Spanish team that had been owning European football and just like destroying opponents.
To a Spanish team that is now considered the greatest, arguably
Arguably the greatest national team ever.
probably the greatest national team ever, and arguably the greatest team ever, club and country. They came so close, and
Just
Schneider
yeah.
played incredible in that World
He
Cup.
did.
Scored a game-winning goal against Japan, 1-0 victory. He was lights out.
But he didn't win.
He
Like
didn't
I said,
He
popularity
didn't even
contest.
finish top 3.
Nope.
He didn't finish top 3.
Messi won it that year.
Xavi and Iniesta.
Wait, who was it? Messi who won it that year?
Messi won in
Messi
2010,
won it.
and then it was Iniesta and Xavi, which I'm on board with Iniesta and Xavi being on the top 3 because they were on the World Cup winning squad. They had great years at Barcelona, and Messi, yeah, he had a great year at Barcelona, but how can you ignore Wesley Sneijder that accomplished so much?
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't do anything but agree with you on all of these things. Is it?
And the thing is like Modric is literally like the reincarnation of Schneider's year in 2010, but
Not as good.
it's not as good. But it's like he wins it, but Schneider didn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes you wonder what
And
people were looking at when they were voting.
This aggravated me because Messi was awarded it, and he had a phenomenal year, great numbers. Okay, but Modric, Schneider, he won the treble, being the best player on Inter Milan, being arguably the best player or the best player in that tournament for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Where Modric wasn't the best player in the UCL for Real Madrid, wasn't the best player in La Liga for Real Madrid, was the best player
For Croatia.
for Croatia.
Mhm.
We'll never forget what Modric did in this World Cup, and it is legendary. But then again, it is only 7 games.
Yeah. That they don't necessarily define a whole year.
Right. That
It's
I don't
7
like- I don't
games
like
out
when
of
a lot of-
50. Come on.
But I mean,
Right.
it's the World
55.
Cup.
I don't like when a lot of people do that. I mean, I understand the importance of the World Cup, and it only comes around once every 4 years.
If you ask me,
But you can't base a player's you can't judge an entire performance, a player's entire performance, just based
Right.
off the World Cup.
Agreed.
if you ask me, it's harder to win the Champions League than it is the World Cup. I think the competition is far greater.
I could agree with that. The football
Yeah.
is definitely better.
Is it the most
And-
prestigious? No, because the World Cup is like it's every 4 years. You're playing for your country. Doesn't happen as often, but
But is the competition higher? I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
I would say
is
the
it higher in
competition's
Champions League?
higher.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the competition's higher, and you have to go through a lot more competition to
Yeah.
get to the end.
You have
like
to-
meaning
you
the
have to
Champions
qualify.
League is so
Yeah.
long. You know what I mean? You
Yeah, it's
play
a
so
long
many
competition.
games. There's both there's first and second leg when you get to the knockout stages and stuff like that. So it's a longer path and it's a harder path, but the World Cup is definitely more prestigious because it only comes around once every 4 years.
Yeah. You ask any footballer on this planet, like, what would they rather win, the Champions League or the World Cup? They're gonna say the World Cup.
But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But like I said, it's a popularity contest. Luka Modric won it. What more can you say?
So we keep bringing this up, and it's frustrating. But if there was ever a year for someone to break the Messi Ronaldo streak, it should have been in 2010 with Wesley Sneijder
when it wasn't even really a streak.
Right, it really wasn't a streak, but
2008 Ronaldo won his first. Messi in 2009 won his first, and then 2010, it wasn't even a streak at the time.
No, it wasn't a streak. You're right. It just makes me wonder what
people will say that was 2008 was the start.
Was the start?
Yeah, it was definitely the start.
Right.
But it makes me wonder what do players need to do to actually win this award? Because apparently it doesn't matter because they voted for Modric. So what does it matter? They voted for Modric, who won a UCL and made it to a World Cup final.
Why does Canada get a vote? I'm just looking at this right now.
Everyone gets
a vote.
Neil Davidson, the Canadian president. If anyone is listening to us out in Canada, no offense. Canada just feels so irrelevant when it comes to soccer.
In men's,
Toronto FC's been really good too.
Toronto FC's been good.
Really good.
The MLS.
But then again, it's MLS.
But it's yeah. So we keep coming back to that.
It's getting better, but it's not there yet.
Did you see what the host asked the female Ballon d'Or winner?
No, I did not catch that.
Ada Hegerberg, who is a forward for Olympique Lyonnais in France, had a great year. She won the Women's Champions League and they won the French Cup and all that stuff. She gets up to receive her award, is holding the Ballon d'Or, and this guy, the host,
Martin Solveig.
Martin Solveig, thank you, Rui. Is like, can you twerk for us? Like, point blank,
Christ.
televised, live. Everyone's seeing this.
Like, come on.
And she's like, no. And she walks off. Way to really ruin the moment. That's why I'm saying.
How embarrassing.
Gross.
What goes on in your head, right?
Makes you think that's okay.
To make you think that is actually okay to ask her that. She just won an award for
ruin
football,
the moment
and then
for
it's
me.
just like, what made you think of that?
Right.
Yeah, one too many glasses of Prosecco.
Probably.
No, never that. Never
But
that.
yeah,
I would never ask someone that question.
No.
That's pathetic.
Coming from someone who has had one too many glasses of Prosecco on many occasions.
Yeah, and he still wouldn't ask her that question.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
Right.
I love my Prosecco.
So, me too.
I love it. But no, but that's ridiculous.
Not cool. And it was, not to mention another thing that was awful about this whole shemenza, this whole foolishness.
How Ronaldo didn't win the
Ballon d'Or. Well,
Yeah.
aside from that, was that they actually, I think that you even
A year ago, Joe would have been, Messi deserves a Ballon d'Or. Messi deserves a Ballon d'Or. Oh, he's wearing black and white now.
Yeah.
Oh, Ronaldo deserves a...
Quiet. I'm talking here.
All right.
Quiet. So I think that you even helped point this out to me, Dylan, was that there was a journalist who got into the Ballon d'Or ceremony.
Correct. Yep.
And his newspaper had been closed for several years, I'll say. And he still got a chance to vote for Ballon d'Or. So, like, what's going on? What is going on? I don't understand. That's why I really do not like these awards.
The writer was... I can't pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try to do that. It's from country Comoros, country in East Africa, little island.
Not familiar, sorry.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with it.
But yeah, they let him in and he got a vote. So
I mean, not that one vote would have made a
no,
difference.
No, but it
makes
still
a huge
like
difference.
I still don't understand.
He voted Mbappe, Modric, Ronaldo, Hazard, and Salah. So he didn't even put Messi. in his-
Oh my
didn't even put
God.
Messi.
Didn't even put Messi in the top 5.
That's what I'm saying. This is garbage.
My Canadian friend did have Neil Davidson again over at the Canadian Press. I like his top 5. He did put Messi in. 1 Ronaldo, 2 Modric, 3 Messi, 4 Salah, 5
I can
Hazard.
agree
Yeah,
with
okay.
that.
Yeah, okay. That's
I can
okay.
get behind.
I
that.
apologize, Canada, for what I said earlier.
No, Canada gets a thumbs
Neil
up.
Davidson from the Canadian Press, you get a thumbs up from me.
We like Canada.
I'd put Messi in front of Modric, but
Yeah. No, I can totally get behind that. But like I said, that's why I really don't like these awards because it's just
Maybe
I saw a poll come out that 72% of the fans did not approve of the Ballon d'Or awards.
right because fans can see past the bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether
This is
it's a
clear and
quote-unquote
obvious.
conspiracy
Like
theory.
VAR
whether it's
doesn't
a
have to review
personality.
this.
No.
This
Yeah.
is garbage.
Right.
Like
The
Ronaldo
whole
and Messi. I mean, Ronaldo finished second, but like doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. And
Just look
by
at the
that,
numbers. you
By
know?
that, I'm meaning Messi, Ronaldo. These two definitely deserve to be in the top 3. And you know what's funny too? Okay, this is supposed to be for the entire year. Okay,
Mhm.
the whole 2018. The last 18 games Luka Modric has played in.
Just to clarify,
Yep.
for myself and for anyone listening, the Ballon d'Or is just for 2018,
2018.
so it does not cover
No.
the first half
It's
of
not
last
17
season.
and 18. It's
Okay.
2018.
just wanted to make sure.
Yep. And the last 18 games, Luka Modric. What's been going on? Because
I could tell you that.
he's
It's a
only
train
had
wreck.
Yeah, it's been a train wreck. And Real Madrid's season's been a train wreck. And we've already mentioned this. Not a good season at all. Luka Modric in his last 18 games only has 3 assists, 0 goals, 0 man of the match performances, with a match rating of 7.68, which isn't really that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but
It's not bad, but there's nothing.
Ballon
above
d'Or
average.
There's
material.
nothing
Right.
worthy there's nothing worthy
Doesn't
of Ballon
stand
d'Or.
out.
There's nothing
Right.
that's exactly. There's nothing that stands out. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we've harped upon
55 appearances, 3 goals, 10 assists, and only 1 trophy, and that's not including his Golden Ball trophy
Right.
or Golden Player from the World Cup. So he's got a Champions League, and then the Player of the Tournament in the World Cup, which is a phenomenal award to receive.
Yeah.
I mean, his only 3 goals came against Deportivo, came against Nigeria, which was a penalty kick, and then against Argentina.
Yeah.
That's all he had this year. And I know he's just a center midfielder. He's not a goal scorer. Like those fancy stats don't stick out, but come on.
Yeah, I feel like we've harped upon this enough. Like we know. We feel Modric is undeserving, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like any other year, Modric would win this without a problem, but because he fell in the era, he's in the era with Ronaldo and Messi, which is such a unique era. Because we can all agree on this, and many people can agree on this, that if Ronaldo and Messi were in 2 different eras, they'd each have 10 Ballon d'Ors.
yeah.
And it's unfortunate for those that aren't Ronaldo and Messi, because they're not going to get their shot. And Modric, unfortunately, he is Ballon d'Or material, but it's not enough against those two. It's just not enough.
Who put up consistent numbers.
Year in, year out, Barcelona, this is all we've heard about. Barcelona, Real Madrid. Barcelona, Real Madrid. These have been the 2 most talked about teams in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Who's won the most Champions Leagues per country in the last 10 years?
Spain.
And who are the 2 teams? Barcelona and Real Madrid. And who are the 2 main guys? Ronaldo and Messi.
Ronaldo and Messi.
It's so unique, this era.
I feel like we've definitely
And look at who's the favorite to win the Champions League this year.
I think the top 2 teams right now to win the Champions League, Juventus and Man City. Third,
Barcelona.
I'd say Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, they're still in there.
They're probably a notch below. But you know what? Man City is having a better year than Barcelona. they probably have a more talented squad in Barcelona. I'd take Barcelona over Man City when it comes to the Champions League.
In the Champions League, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because Tottenham is the history of Tottenham.
History of Tottenham.
But Man City is the history of Man City.
I don't like Chiellini, but that interview is
That's
freaking
gold.
classic. It's gold. It's hilarious.
Oh, I agree with you
But no, you
wholeheartedly.
can
But you
say
can take
that.
Barcelona.
I know.
I would take
if,
Barcelona.
If I'm putting my money down, Barcelona all day.
Absolutely.
Man City is seriously scary.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Like,
I don't know.
Just watch
But
them
they're not
play. Just watch
unbeatable.
them play any
They
weekend.
have a Champions League winning coach.
No. I completely agree with you. I'd absolutely take Barcelona in a head-to-head match in the Champions League. But Man City, just watch them
They're
play.
so good.
They are
Just
very
watch them
good,
play.
but they're
I don't
not
know.
So
unbeatable.
dominant.
They're
Maybe,
not
The
maybe
unbeatable.
way-
we're
the
talking
way
too
that they're-
soon. Maybe there's something that we.
The way that they move the ball, though,
Oh.
and it's not just me. Actually, we've talked about this before.
Tiki Taka in the EPL. That's sick. I've never
So
seen
it's
anything
it's
like
not
that.
just like it's not like Barcelona. When you watch Barcelona play, when they have possession, it's almost like it. For lack of a better way of putting it, it almost seems like fake possession. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's the passes that they make, they're not necessary. A lot of them aren't necessary. But when you watch Man City play this year,
Incredible.
they have those possession numbers and they're working the ball around, and like each pass has a purpose. You know what I mean? It's like meaningful possession.
Yep.
So
And another sick thing too. It's when we're talking about like teams like Spain and Barcelona, especially Spain in 2010. I believe they only scored like 7 goals. They just controlled the game, right?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Their defense was possession, right?
Right.
They didn't score a lot. It was a lot of 1-0, 1-0 games that they won. But this Man City team, it's just they're Spain 2010, but they're just pouring in goals.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is that they're not unbeatable. They are beatable. I feel like they don't have that air of invincibility that Barcelona had back in the day.
They
They're
haven't lost yet this year.
You sure?
Oh, in the Champions League, yeah, they lost.
Yeah. So they technically have lost this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it to
The
you.
same way that Juve lost this year.
Right.
They lost, but
I guess in the grand scheme of things, it won't count for much. But
look at this already. In only 15 games, they have 45 goals in the EPL.
oh yeah, they're scoring by I can't disagree.
And they only
with
let
that.
up 7.
Yeah, which is still good. Very good.
45-7.
In the PL.
It's incredible.
Or just is that like competition wide?
That's in the EPL.
Yeah, that's still really good.
That's incredible.
yeah,
That's not just really good.
That's better than really good.
amazing. This is Spain 2010 that just scores goals.
And their cross city rivals are really
Yeah, that's
really struggling.
negative
Can we
1.
talk about that for like a split second?
-1 in goal
no,
differential.
we're not going to talk about that.
We
Why?
can't-
Because we're kind of running out of time,
Oh,
and
okay.
we're trying to focus this one episode. We were just going to talk about the Ballon d'Or.
Damn it! All right.
All right, man.
So, quick exercise I would like to do before we close this one out.
Oh, we're doing exercises now.
exercises?
Are we like
No,
what?
Joe? No.
Are we in school?
Not those type of exercises. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, let's say Messi and Ronaldo retired after this season.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, who do you think would be winning the most Ballon d'Ors moving forward?
Boy.
Wait.
So, like, I guess if another person or another 2 players had to start a new streak, you know, for the next like
Damn, that's tough.
10 years, who do you think, I guess, would be the 2 best players moving forward if Ronaldo and Messi were to retire after this season?
Oof. That's hard.
Mbappe.
I was gonna say Mbappe too.
Mbappe.
Would we really give Mbappe like a 19-year-old the Ballon
Hey,
d'Or?
I mentioned before, Neymar would never win Ballon d'Or.
I wouldn't give him Ballon d'Or.
Ever. No, he's never going to win it. Ever.
Yeah.
I do remember him saying that.
No, I remember him saying that. He says it, he tells me it every day. He's like, he texts me every day. He's like, Neymar will never win the Ballon
No,
d'Or.
he's not. And I said after this year, Mbappe is going to be the guy at PSG. And Neymar, better start looking for a new home. He better go to Real Madrid or back to Barcelona because he's not going to make a name for himself at PSG anymore.
You really think he'd crawl back to Barcelona? Be like, oh, please forgive me. It was a mistake.
There's only a couple of teams that can afford that guy.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
right,
I
so
would go with
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Mbappe from Rui. You say Mbappe?
I'm
Mbappe
saying
from Joe.
I'm saying Mbappe too. I mean, I honestly can't think of someone
know.
who.
Maybe Jordan Sancho.
No,
He's too
one
young,
day,
though.
one day.
No, I would
He's too
say the two players that came to mind for me, Joe, I know you're gonna like this one, but Mbappe would definitely be number one in my mind, and I don't. This next player, I don't know if he would compete year in and year out like Mbappe might do, but I think Dybala would have a good shot at winning a Ballon d'Or or two somewhere in his career.
I think that's fair in
No.
his career.
No.
In the future, for sure.
Yeah.
I know one guy.
If
It
those
just came to my mind.
if Ronaldo and Messi hypothetically retired, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
For me personally,
Yep.
Alessio Romano.
Oh my god.
What?
No.
What
On that note,
Yeah.
Oh, you can't end the show like this now. Come
on
on.
that note, as usual, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter is RCR_podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Instagram is @RedCardReport, all one word. And I believe Facebook is just facebook.com/RedCardReport.
Yeah.
Or you can just search us Red Card Report Podcast.
Yeah. Do that. Yeah. Give us a like. Give us a follow.
All right. One quick note, Joe. Thanks for being an eater today, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Because we're getting that much closer to third place.